I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in UK test part 353, helping with local services while doing leg stretching, and if you participate in the leg stretching, that is at your own risk. And we have only 3 exercises, so we're going to do them quite long. If it's too long, then you can break or so. The first exercise, we're bringing one leg in front, the heel onto the ground, and we're pulling the toes in. And from time to time, we're going to contract the quad muscles. So contract the quad muscles. Helping with local services. There are opportunities to volunteer with a wide range of local service provided, including local hospitals and youth projects. Services often want to involve local people in decisions about the way in which they work. Universities, housing associations, museums, and arts councils may advertise for people to serve as volunteers in their governing bodies. Release the contraction, but we're keeping the stretch. So, there are opportunities to volunteer with a wide range of local service providers. So there are many people who are providing the opportunity to get a service. So many people, they're contracting again, who are saying we need people in hospitals or in youth projects. And it is possible for people to volunteer there and work in hospitals or youth projects or so. Services often want to involve local people in decisions about the way in which they work. Services often want to involve local people in decisions about the way in which they work. Universities, housing associations, museums, and art councils may advertise for people to serve as volunteers in their governing bodies. Release the contraction, but we're keeping the leg there. So other things which also want volunteers are universities, housing associations, museums, and art councils. And they also advertise to get volunteers in their governing bodies also. So also to say something about things work. Maybe it has something to do with the sentence before. Services often want to involve local people in decisions about the way in which they work. And contract again, last time. You can volunteer with the police and become a special constable or a lay non-police representative. You can also apply to become a magistrate. You'll often find advertisements for vacancies in your local newspaper or on local radio. You can also find out more about these sorts of roles at www.gov.uk. And we're releasing the stretch and we're switching to the other leg. Again, the heel onto the ground, we're pulling the toes in and we're contracting the quad muscles. What was within the last section here? You can volunteer with the police, so with the police force you can volunteer, and you can become a special constable or a lay representative. So you can become some kind of constable representative of the police and also some lay representative, which is a non-police representative. You can do something voluntarily by the police. And you can also apply to become a magistrate. These the people in the courts. We have here in the criminal courts, where we're having magistrates in the minor cases. So for the minor cases, people can volunteer. For the judge and jury, people are forced to do it. I think I have the facts right. And releasing the contraction, but we're keeping the leg there. You will often find advertisements for vacancies in your local newspaper or on local radio. So the first thing is there are local newspapers and local radio. So if you listen to the radio and you're reading in the newspaper, or you don't have a radio and you don't have a newspaper, then you might also consider that there maybe, if you want to read or hear something, that there could be a radio broadcaster or a newspaper publisher just for your city. And we're contracting again the quad muscles. What are vacancies? Vacancies. I don't know. Okay, that's it. We're having nothing new anymore. If you're just here for the next part, which we will be then about medical aspects, how people can help each other, then you can go directly to the next part. Otherwise, we will now repeat something which we already had. And release the contraction again, but keep the neck there. A last time repeating the coronal chords, then the next time we will start the falsetto chords. The crown chords, they are the magistrates. Except of in Scotland, where it is the council. Was that right? No, crown chords. So there is a sheriff chord. And they are not the magistrates. Okay. The crown chords, they are judge and jury. In Scotland, it is the sheriff chord with sheriff and jury. And contractor can be called. That's for last time. And in Scotland, for high cases, it is the high court. And then is there for minor cases, the magistrate court. They are the magistrates. And they seem to be voluntary. And in Scotland, it are the Council of the Peacemaker, Justice of the Peace Court, Justice of the Peace Court. And we have a Justice of the Peace Courts. In Northern Ireland, yes, there was a difference. In Northern Ireland, the magistrates are qualified and legally schooled, educated. Then the youth courts, 10 to 17, closed, no publicity, but parents and carers should attend. There was one point more. Yes, 3 specially trained magistrates or a district judge. In Scotland, it's the children's hearing system, and in Northern Ireland, additionally, the youth conferencing system. The next exercise, the anchor chain stability test. The torso pointing forward, relax at the side, the torso pointing forward, the pressing of the leg a bit into the ground, and the trying to be frontal with the main part of the body. Then another thing, we had some books, and there was Thomas Hardy. And he had written books, and the 2 examples named for us were Jake the Obscure and Far from the Mending Crowd. And I found out today that I since quite some time am watching the trailer to the movie Far from the Mending Crowd. I just didn't realize it because I'm watching it in French, and the title is then Long de la Feu de Long de Sanché or so. But there was another video advertised that had then the title in English, Far from the Mending Crowd, and the same actor, so I am watching since a long time the trailer to a movie from mid-2000 must be, to that movie. And I looked when in the end in the title card, or what it's called, of a trailer, and there was written, the Pré d'un roman de Thomas Hardy. Because now I think I don't have any problem anymore to remember that and also the other book. And we're learning that more or less, I'm learning this openly, so in a way together. So I have to tell that I don't have problems anymore. And the second reason, I have many reasons why I tell this. The second reason is why I tell that we're releasing the stretch a little bit is, yes, one thing is also that if things are emotionally connected with something, if it's not just facts, but we can associate something with it, then it's very easier to remember. And we're stretching a bit into the ground again. And yes, that's mostly it. So, Thomas Hardy, Far from Mending Crowd, and Jude the Obscure. And let's not make the other authors, let's make the architect. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. And over to the other leg, later time. And those are pointing forward and this pressing again a bit into the ground. So, Durham, Salisbury, Lincoln, and Canterbury cathedrals are there from medieval times still. And the White Tower of the Tower of London is an example of Norman architecture still standing. And then there is the Hardwick House in Derbyshire. Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire. What was the other thing? Banqueting House in Whitehall. There was never just Hardwick Hall. Okay, Hardwick Hall in Derbyshire. And Inigo Jones, he went, for example, the Queen's House in Greenwich. And the Banqueting House in Whitehall in London. Then there was Robert Adams. He was influential. He was from Scotland, and he made, for example, Dumfries House, but some things of Bath after what he did influenced, and in Bath has a Royal Crescent, and releasing again the stretch a little bit, but keeping the leg there. Now, then the Gothic style became again a bit popular. It was in the 19th century, and that is, for example, in the Houses of Parliament and the St. Pancras Station, and also town halls of Manchester and Sheffield. The realignment also, and we're stretching again a bit into the ground. The Houses of Parliament and St. Pancras Station, and the city halls of Manchester and Sheffield. I'm the Gothic style, in a revival of the Gothic style. Okay, let's make it. And in the mid-19th century, there was a revival of the Gothic style, and for example, the Town Hall of Manchester and Sheffield, or the Houses of Parliament and St. Pancras Station are built in a revival of the Gothic style. Fashion. Mary Quant, Alexander McQueen, and Vivienne Westwood. Let's start something new. What did we add here to literature? The UK has a prestige literary history where we were taught you may be asked to identify famous British authors and poets, also, as well as famous books and poems. Make sure you know British winners of the Nobel Prize in Literature. The next exercise, the hydraulic hijack. Flex foot at the side, turning it up and again in. So let's start with that. Several British writers, including the novelist Sir William Golding, the poet Seamus Heaney, and the playwright Harold Pinter have won the Nobel Prize in Literature. Others authors are also known: Agatha Christie's detective stories, Dame Agatha Christie's detective stories, or Ian Fleming's James Bond character, or J.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. Booker Prize for Fiction. The Booker Prize for Fiction awarded annually, and for example, Ian McEwan, Hilary Mantel, and Julian Barnes have won it. But let's make now the Nobel Prize winners for literature. Sir William Golding, Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. Sir William Golding, we could make again something like for Sir Frank Whittle. Sir William Golding, Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. It's musically quite nice. Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. Sir William Golding, Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. Sir William Golding. That's good. Sir William Golding, Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. And the last time. And now with a leg to the opposite. Again, flex foot and bringing it up and again down. Sir William Golding, Sir William Golding, Seamus Heaney, Harold Pinter. What else do we have here? There are famous gardens to visit throughout the UK. That would be interesting to know that. Kew Gardens, Sissinghurst and Hitcote, Crafts Castle and Inverary Castle, Bodmin Garden and Mount Stewart. Let's start with the first one. Kew Garden, K-E-W, Kew Garden. Okay, Kew Garden, we're starting to learn that. And we could do one thing more. What is in haggis? Offal, sweet, onions and oatmeal. I know that I thought about it, it's dangerous. I'm going to lose it again. Onions, offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. Offal, sweet, onions, oatmeal. And an Ulster fry. Sausage, eggs, beef. Black pudding, white pudding. Potato bread, sauerbraten. Tomatoes, mushrooms. Do we then actors? We haven't asked us for actors. Let's read them at the end. Sir Lawrence Oliver, David Niven, Sir Rex Harrison, Richard Burton, Colin Firth, Sir Anthony Hopkins, Dame Judi Dench, Kate Winslet, and Tilda Swinton. We will go now to the butterfly stretch. We're having the soles of the feet together. And we're sitting tall up. They're going a bit in front. Yes, and we're learning the Parliament. Senate, the Scottish Parliament, Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland Assembly. We have all the round datas now. We have to make what we can. But we don't have time left right now. I thank you very much, and until next time.